So let's start to come into deeper connection with our physical bodies. Let us start to take slower, more conscious, deeper breaths. Let's place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest and start a 3-part breathing. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, into the belly, allowing the belly to expand, moving that hand. Then we're going to breathe into the chest, allowing the chest to rise, moving that hand. And then once we've filled ourselves with new chi, new life force, new prana, we are going to compress the belly, pulling the belly button to the spine, and allow the lungs and chest to collapse, and breathe out through the mouth. So 3-part breath, once again, breathing in through the nose, into the belly, into the chest, collapsing both and breathing out through the mouth. Starting to add gentle sound with this. Breathing in through the nose, into the belly, into the chest, and out through the mouth. Starting to create this gentle ocean quality to the breath, as if we are almost fogging a mirror. Doing this both through the breathing in the nose, into the belly, into the chest, and once again, fogging the mirror as we are breathing out. Using the back of the throat as you're breathing in through the nose to make this ocean sound as we are breathing in through the nose, into the belly, into the chest, and releasing. Let us now continue this 3-part breath while we drop our hands, palms facing up on the tops of the thighs, continuing this 3-part breath in through the nose, into the belly, creating that ocean type quality of sound, into the chest, echoing that ocean type quality of sound, and releasing with parted lips, creating that ocean type quality of sound as we release all air, collapsing the belly and collapsing the chest. As you continue on with this breath, allowing the spine to elongate, really bringing the tip top of the head up as high as possible, dropping the hips down as low as possible, elongating the spine and creating space for our energetic field, our chakra system. Signifying to that which you believe in and belong to, I am open, I am receptive, I am ready to shift the way that I think, the way that I feel, the way that I experience my reality. I am open for support, for guidance, for the activation of my intuitive gifts, for clarity around my choices, the way that my paradigm was programmed. Taking again a conscious deep breath in through the nose, into the belly, into the chest, and releasing, allowing ourselves to consider what it means to be the conscious creator, what it means to create consciously. I now encourage you to bring up your own identified limiting belief that you desire to work with during this session up into your energetic purview. Seeing if that comes from a deep place within your chakra system, if this comes from your mind, if it's as if you've written it on a whiteboard in your mind's eye, as if you're unfolding it on a piece of paper, pulling it out of an envelope, allowing it to become present with you, saying it out loud to yourself, reading it within your mind, feeling its tethers and tendrils connect within your own energetic system, identifying where it resides, how it feels, the role that it's held in your life, in your body, in your mind, in the very expression of your soul. Allowing yourself to be so gently compassionate and present with this limiting belief, knowing that it is not our fault, but it is our responsibility. When we become aware of our own limiting beliefs, it is our responsibility to identify, process, shift, and reprogram, allowing ourselves to live the life that we desire in the way that we desire it. Allowing yourself a few more intentional 3-part breaths. Once again, creating that ocean quality of sound as we breathe into the belly, breathe into the chest, and breathe out through the mouth. 2 more. One more. Bringing the hands into prayer mudra at the heart chakra, tucking the knuckles into the sternum, into the heart chakra space, bowing the intelligence of the head to the wisdom of the heart. And I encourage you to join me with your voice in 3 sacred ohms. Breathing in to start. Releasing our hands, moving the head and neck from side to side, coming back into this place, back into this space. And when you are ready, joining me with open eyes once again. All right. Thank you for offering me the presence and intention of your minds and bodies and hearts as we settle into our energetic presence and we commence this exploration of the subconscious in conjunction with the conscious. So EFT, or emotional freedom technique, or tapping, is truly one of my favorite practices because it marries the practical and the energetic. And that is the baseline of my work, is finding ways to bring together these 2 parts of us that so frequently feel like opposite ends of the spectrum. And when we get to bring them together in a way that really works and is really successful, it is truly the expression of why we do this work, how it ends up bringing to fruition so many of the beautiful, beautiful things. So EFT is partnering meridian tapping. So the positions, the actual spaces and places that we are tapping are energetic points, energetic lines. And so we are able to get this information into the subconscious, awaken these energy lines because of the points that we are using. So similar to acupressure, similar to working with the Chinese meridians, we are following how the energy naturally works in the body. We are then also using language patterning, similar to a practice of like NLP, that the brain really understands. So we are working in a way that addresses the body, addresses the brain and the subconscious, and talks to our system, our paradigm, in a way that really, really allows us to make massive shifts and long-lasting shifts. So it is not only a tool that feels really good to utilize, it's not only a tool that can be adjusted to quick in the moment things as well as full undertakings, but it is a tool that is really effective and that we can see the results of very often pretty quickly. So I am really, really excited to teach you guys this and to utilize this with your own limiting beliefs today. So we are going to go through a full undertaking, a full script, and I'm going to show you my entire process, and then we will talk potentially here at the end of the call, if not definitely in Voxer, about how to adapt this so that, as with anything, we learn the rules so that we can break the rules so that we can do it in a way that feels good for ourselves. Just like with the best chefs and the best artists, often they're going to a culinary school, going to an art school, learning the basics, learning color theory, learning, how to cut in certain ways, how to flavor in certain ways. And then the majority of them are learning these lessons so then they can break these rules and find their own style that works really well for them. So first and foremost, when we are working with EFT, we are going to identify our main issue. So if you guys can take a few moments to share into the chat box, what is the limiting belief that you would like to use today? That would be greatly appreciated. And since Bree is not able to make it with us, I have gotten one from her that she mentioned in our chat so that we'll be able to utilize her information as well. But if you guys can take a few moments and drop your limiting belief into the chat box so that I know what we are working with for each of us. My love is not enough. My love is not enough. All right. And Breeze was it's really hard to find other like-minded people who want to put in the effort for a genuine and deep connection. And I am not good enough or worthy enough for success. Okay, these are beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing these. So I'm going to use an example throughout explaining a script so that we can follow and use this through continuity, and then I will utilize each of your individuals to ground down and help you guys make this much more personal and applicable. So when I'm talking with a client, an example of something that we might use an EFT script for might be, if I fix my physical imperfections, I will be worthy of the person that I desire. So if this was the focus of the tapping script, the main issue might be that I see my worth attached to my physical appearance, or I'm working on shifting the understanding and belief and wholehearted knowingness that my worth, like others, is intrinsic to me being me. So we're looking at kind of what comes out as that limiting belief and then what that main issue is. So for two of us, I'm seeing that worthiness or enoughness, and enoughness is typically both sides of that, being too much for some, not enough for others. But that main issue here being worthiness. And I even see that very similarly with Breeze of am I worth it for someone to put genuine effort and connection, also in conjunction with the limiting belief of scarcity, that there's only a small number of the people or things that I'm looking for, or jobs that I'm looking for, or abundance opportunities that I'm looking for. And thus I have to be fearful of whether or not I can find those things. So when working in an EFT script, I like to identify the main limiting belief and then really extrapolate from that. What is the main issue? So for several of us, I'm feeling deeply connected to worthiness inherently. And then we're going to ask ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10, and for each of us, we must define, is 1 what I'm aiming for? Is 1 feeling really aligned and good? And 10 is what I would like to shift away from? Or is 10 what I'm aiming for and 1 is what I'd like to shift away from? So if each of you can just take a quick moment and determine on a scale of 1 to 10, which is the high aligned end and which is the low out of alignment end. And then ask yourself this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how does worthiness feel today inside the body? And letting me know in the chat box, on a scale of 1 to 10, how does this feel within your own psyche, within your own self? So how active is this? So when you express to yourself, my love is not enough, does this feel really, really true, really, really potent, really, really in your purview of like, yes, this is currently weighing on me and I am at the lower end of my spectrum? When you are saying to yourself, I'm not good enough or worthy enough for success, or it's really hard to find other like-minded people, how active, how present is this within your own vibration today? And dropping into the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10, where you are at today with your current topic. Okay, 6. And let me know if 10 is what you're aiming for, or if 1 is what you're aiming for, so that I can tell if that 6 is we're doing well above neutral, we're operating and moving into the aligned direction, or if we're shifting towards, oh, I'm feeling it a lot today. Is this an aligned 6 or a not so aligned 6? Feeling it a lot. Okay. So we're aiming for 1. 1 is our peaceful homeostasis, great state. Okay. And 7. Feeling it a lot. Okay. Now we're going to ask, can we locate this in our body? So when you start to hold that vibration of 6 and 7 in the direction of we have this very active in our systems to work on, can we locate this in the body? Is this issue associated with a physical space when you offer this limiting belief? When we express, when you hear the words, my love is not enough, or I'm not good enough or worthy enough for success, or it's really hard to find other like-minded people who want to put in the effort for a genuine and deep connection, where does this resonate within the body? Where do you feel tension, tightness, stickiness, heaviness, burden? In the stomach? And is this the pit of the stomach or higher up in the stomach? Are we more towards the sacral chakra, or are we more towards the solar plexus chakra? It is also totally okay if you are unable to be clear on where within the body. These are questions, and sometimes we'll be able to answer the questions and sometimes we won't. It is a practice of moving through these that we start to ask ourselves and drop into awareness, so that more often we build the ability to gather the understanding of that nuance. Okay, so sacral chakra in the stomach and then solar plexus in the heart. Beautiful. All right, now I'm going to teach you guys the tapping points that we're going to utilize today and through this work. I will also let you guys know that there are tons of other tapping points, and in our portal I will give you guys a link to another tapping training, so that if you want to look at several of the other points, these are just the points that I personally work with the most because I am often teaching this through Zoom. So I'm going to teach these points, and then we're going to start to create some scripting around each of our limiting beliefs, and then we will go through an entire script offering together that will weave each of your limiting beliefs, intentions, and goals together so that we can practice this together. So the point that I love to start with is the karate chop point. So on the side of the hand, it's going to be the fleshy part of the hand down below the pinky. And I typically do this by making a fist. And when I tap, I am tapping either with 2 fingers like this. Sometimes I'm tapping with the side of my fingers. Some people like to use all 4 of their fingers, and there are definitely places and spaces that I drop into using all 4. But for the most part, I'm offering tapping with 2 of my fingers, the pointer and the middle finger. So the karate chop point is this fleshy point over here. So we're going to use our 2 or 4 fingers to tap on this point. And when we're tapping, we want to tap strongly enough that we're feeling and we're touching into the energy potency of this space, but not so hard that, especially on the face, we're bruising or we're hurting ourselves. We want to engage with the energy, but we don't want to hurt ourselves. Now, while tapping on some of these spaces, it might be a little uncomfortable. It might be a little, not necessarily painful, but discomfort. And we want to make sure that that discomfort is coming from moving stagnant energy, moving stuck energy, and not that we're tapping too hard, or if there is an ailment in that space. If you have a cut, if you have a bruise, anything like that, you might want to skip that space. But there will sometimes be discomfort because you're finding stagnation in these energetic points. Our next point is going to be the very top of the head, so what we refer to as the crown chakra. And this is a space where I actually use all 4 of my fingers. There are also times where I might alternate and use my 2 hands. So that will definitely try out different things. You might want to try your 2 fingers, try alternating hands, try 1 hand. The next spot is going to be the beginning of the eyebrow. So right where the eyebrow begins, and once again, you can use 2 fingers for this, you can use 4 fingers for this, you can alternate sides. So kind of exploring, checking out those different options, seeing what really feels good for you. Then we're going to do the side of the eye. And so we're going to come from the corner of the eye out a little bit, and we're going to look for the bone. So we're going to tap on the bone here. We don't want to get too close to the eye, so we're not touching this delicate under eye area. We are actually going for the bone right here on the side of the eye. Then we're going to do underneath the eye, and same thing. We're going to skip this delicate skin right underneath, and we're going to find and locate that bone. So underneath the eye, tapping with 2 fingers, once again on one side or on both sides, tapping at the same time or alternating, and we're looking for that bone so that we are not touching the delicate under eye area. Then we're going to go to our Cupid's bow right here at the top of the mouth. And for this, I actually curve my 2 fingers and I pull my lip a lot of times because I typically will have a lip color on. So I'll pull that and tap on the Cupid's bow. You can do this alternating sides with just 2 fingers, but I typically like to do the sides of my fingers for that one. Then we're going to do the chin. So we're going to do right this little cleft where underneath the lip and on the plane of the chin. And once again, we can do 2 fingers, 4 fingers, or we can alternate sides or tap both at the same time. I'm typically here doing 2 fingers on the chin. Then we're going to find the clavicles, and we're going to go a little bit beneath the clavicles. And this one I do like to do all 4 fingers on both sides, alternating, but I do have some clients who tap like this, or just do one side or the other side, alternating or tapping at the same. But this is one of my favorite points, and I like to do all 4 of my fingers and get quite a bit of space covered here. The next point I'm going to show you, but I'm also going to let you guys know that I typically skip this point a lot of times because of the difficulty of tapping on it. So underneath the armpit, right about where our bra point is, and you can do this on both sides. You can do this on one side with your thumb or crossing sides, but as you guys can see, sometimes this is a little bit awkward and uncomfortable to get at, but still a good point to know about. So right where the main strap of the bra, the thicker strap of the bra is, underneath the armpit space. Then we're going to go to our hands, and there's a couple tapping spots that I love to use on the hands. So we're going to put out our pointer finger, and we're going to look for the first knuckle line, and we're going to tap on that with our 2 fingers. We're then going to bring out our middle finger and tap on that first knuckle line. Then when we bring out our ring finger, we're going to go underneath. So it's going to be underneath the ring finger, but once again at that first knuckle line. And if shifting from top of the finger to bottom of the finger is difficult for you, you can just put that ring finger down, because the pinky is going to go to the top of the finger once again. So top of the pointer finger, first knuckle line, top of the middle finger, first knuckle line, bottom of the ring finger. And if that kind of throws you, you can just tuck that finger down, and then top of the pinky finger. Then on the top of the hand, we're going to go in between the ligaments of the ring finger and the pinky finger, and we're going to tap right in that little section where you can almost feel your fingers sinking into delicately. So once again, strong enough tapping where you can feel it, but not so strong where you're rolling the ligaments or hurting yourself. And then last point, we will tap our wrists with our wrists. And you can do this either direction. Some people do it like this. Some people tap all around. I typically end up crossing my wrists and tapping in this way. All right, so I'm going to go through all of those points once again, and for this round of tapping, I will express the point. I will tell you the point that we're going to tap every time we're going to switch points. So if you do kind of fade into your eyes closed and really just follow with the language, if you're not watching the whole time, I will give guidance on what points so that you know where we're going. So karate chop point on the side of the hand, the fleshy part of the hand, underneath the pinky. Top of the head, beginning of the eyebrow, side of the eye on the bone, underneath the eye on the bone, Cupid's bow, chin, clavicle, under the arm or bra strap point, top of the pointer finger, top of the middle finger, bottom of the ring finger, top of the pinky finger, top of the hand in between the ring and pinky ligaments, and wrists. Beautiful. All right, so when we are working in an EFT script, the language progression is this. We start with an even though statement. We start with several even though statements. We start by authentically addressing what we feel. And I love EFT for this practice because, as many of us have probably figured out, in spirituality, there is a lot of bypassing. There is a lot of, oh, just think positive thoughts and positive things will come to you. And as true as that is, for so many of us in human form, there is an aspect of acknowledging the shit, of being really authentic and real about where we are and what we're going through, and that sometimes it's not always just rainbows and ponies. So one of the other reasons that I deeply love EFT is that it acknowledges and authenticates where we are currently with some of our strongest limiting beliefs. So the way that we start EFT is by saying, even though, and we insert our negative statement or something we'd like to shift or what we're currently feeling, and we are as authentic and honest. The key here is to bring up the feelings by using language that is so authentic and honest. And we say, even though our negative thing, our current situation, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And together, between the tapping and the way that we're languaging this, we allow ourselves to understand and accept and feel deeply into the fact that regardless of the thoughts that I'm having, the way that my paradigm has been programmed, the limitations that I've placed on myself, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So let's start to create a few of these for us. So even though I feel my love is not enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I find it so hard to find other like-minded people, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm scared that the people I want to build connection with might not put in the effort, I will. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I fear I am not good enough to be successful, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I don't feel worthy enough for success, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Beautiful. So after we identify where we currently are, and when I'm creating a script like this, and I encourage each of you to do this for your own work, is to look at that main topic, that my love is not enough, and really allow yourself to free write Maybe you want to voice record yourself with this, and allow it to pour forth, and allow yourself to find any statements, anything that connects to that. So in what way can we expand on I feel my love is not enough, and language this in different ways so that we're kind of finding where it is in our body and our energy and our mind, in our subconscious, by languaging it in different ways. So today we're going to use, 1 to 2 of these statements for each of us. But when you guys continue to do this for yourself, I encourage you to expand on your even though statements to encompass and paint that picture fully so that you're bringing that truth that has been programmed deep within you up to the forefront. So after we start with our even though negative or current situation statement, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, then we go into a transition section. And the transition section, the intention of the transition section is that we open the door, we crack the door just a teeny tiny little amount from this is how I currently feel to maybe I could see this differently. And so I'm going to provide you guys with a bunch of different pieces of language around how we can see this differently. But for today, I'm going to pop into the chat box just a few of these. The intention of the transition session is just to open that door a little bit. So sometimes I'm reading 10 of these over and over and over again until I get to that space where I'm like, okay, I feel available for something different. Sometimes I read the first one, maybe I could see this differently. And I'm like, yep, maybe I could see this differently. You want to spend as much time and energy in the transition section as it takes to transition your vibration. As soon as you start to become open and available, as soon as that door cracks a little bit, you can then move on to the next section. So a few of the transitions that we might work with today. Maybe I could see this differently. Maybe I could change this. Maybe I could let this go. I choose to let this go. These are just stories that I have told myself. What if I allowed myself to tell a different story? What if I allowed myself to see this differently? Maybe this could be different. Maybe I can really make these changes. And as soon as we're saying that, we're feeling that, we're picturing that, we're considering that, and that starts to become alive in our own bodies, in our own energetic systems, then we move into the positive section. And now what I recommend for the positive section is that each and every one of your negatives gets flipped. And so you're going to have at least one positive for every negative. You can definitely have a lot more positives. And what we're trying to ideally do here is to flip our negative statements 180 degrees and allow them to come through you in a perfect world. How would I feel? What would I believe? As a reminder, sometimes our first attempt at shifting 180 degrees feels really aligned and is a great start. And so we start there. And as we're tapping, we might start to realize that there's more shifting to be done, that that's not a full 180 degree shift. So I come back to the example that we started with. Once I fix my physical imperfections, I will be worthy of the person that I desire. So a client was trying to call in an aligned partner, and their original intention, their main issue was that they were talking very much about the physical things that they wanted to change. Oh, when I lose this weight. Oh, when I do my hair differently. Oh, when I buy better makeup. Oh, when I get better clothes. So with tapping on our first round of shifting, we shifted into a positive being, no matter what I look like, I'm worthy of the person that I want. After tapping with this for a little while and expanding and getting into this, the even more aligned and profound 180 degree shift became, I am worthy being who I am. I am innately powerful, beautiful, magical, and worthy of each and every one of my desires. Once again, I recommend having a positive that reflects from each negative. And then if you want to add more positives in, that's great. But I definitely recommend having a counterpart for every single negative that you have as general programmings can be added in as well. So you might be very specific of this is my negative and I've shifted it into my positive, and then things that I'm constantly always throwing into scripts. I'm worthy, I'm abundant, I love my life, I forgive myself. So we want to be particular that when we are reprogramming the subconscious, that if we're bringing up a negative, we have a counterpart to it. What we are doing is we are teaching the mind, body, and soul that every time this negative thought, every time this even though comes up, we open the door to something different, and then we settle on something different, so that you are building this autopilot process that becomes, ooh, when I'm aware of this limiting belief, this is where it ends. I might start here, I might feel this authentically, but I never stop here. I always end over here. I always end over here. I always end over here. We are training the mind, body, and energy to do this for us through this practice, partnering it with the potency of tapping and the potency of this specific languaging. Now, let's take each of ours and shift them. So our negatives are, I feel my love is not enough. So if we are moving through and we have transitioned these and we're open to telling a different story, what are some of our positives around I feel my love is not enough? My love is more than enough. My love is worthy and deserving. My love expands and grows myself and others. In sharing my love, I experience more love. Others desire and value my love. My love is unconditional and alchemical. Then we have, I find it so hard to find other like-minded people. Finding my aligned friends and connections is easy, graceful, and enjoyable. People are magnetized to me. I find my people with ease. In following my joy, bliss, and pleasure, I attract others who align with my way of life. We also have, I'm scared that the people I want to build connection with might not put in the effort I will. When I find an aligned connection, we both feed this connection with such intention, purpose, and devotion. My relationships, my aligned relationships, are always growing and deepening. Reciprocity follows me and supports me. What I give comes back to me tenfold. Then we look at, I fear I'm not good enough to be successful. Success is a natural part of my day-to-day life. Success finds me. Success happens when I am in alignment. Success naturally happens when I am in alignment. Success is a byproduct of my joy and pleasure. Success is a foundational part of my human experience. And then I don't feel worthy enough for success. I am worthy exactly as I am. My worth is always here for me. My worth is never questioned and always present. I am perfect as I am in this moment, as well as in all future moments. And then we'll do a few general ones for all of us. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am magical. I am abundant. All my desires desire me. Beautiful. So this is how I start to develop scripts for people. So I will look at what it is that we're offering limiting belief wise. I encourage you guys to deepen your limiting beliefs and pull even more of your limiting beliefs around those main limiting beliefs out so that you can utilize positives and shifts for each and every one of the different specific thoughts. But this is a beautiful place to start for us. So what we are going to do is we're going to do a full tapping script like this. So I encourage you guys to sit up if possible. You can definitely tap lying down. But as we're going to go through this first script, I encourage you to sit up if that's possible. And one thing that I do that is a little bit different from most EFT teachers is that I start or end with a prayer. So I am going to provide you this prayer in the chat box. I also encourage you guys to take this prayer and shift it and make it your own by taking out anything that doesn't align for you, putting in things that do, really like making this your own so that you feel in deep vibrational resonance with it. So as we start, I encourage you to close your eyes as I offer this prayer to that which I believe in, and just take what aligns for you. If there are words or entities or deities that I am praying to that do not feel in resonance for you, just allow that to shift out and just remove that from your own prayer. Divine being and beings, all my guides, my angels, the archangels, my master spirit guide, all light beings that support me and are here for my highest and greatest good. I am willing to see things differently. I ask that you assist me in seeing things differently, in reprogramming my beliefs and changing my enoughness story, my worth story, my story around success and connections with others. I ask that you change my subconscious quickly, efficiently, and with ease and grace. I ask that you support me in the work that I'm doing to change my conscious and subconscious mind. Help me eliminate limiting beliefs and tell a new story. I welcome in your support. Joining me and following along by tapping the point that I state and repeating after me. So let us start by tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I feel my love is not enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. We will now move to the point at the top of the head. Even though I find it so hard to find other like-minded people, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Let's go to the beginning of the brow points. Even though I'm scared that the people I want to build connection with might not put in the effort I will, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Side of the eye on the bone. Even though I fear I am not good enough to be successful, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Underneath the eye, skipping that delicate skin and tapping on the bone. Even though I don't feel worthy enough for success, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Cupid's bow, moving into our transition section, repeating after me. Maybe I could see this differently. Chin, maybe I could change this. Clavicle, maybe I could let this go. Bra strap point, I choose to let this go. Pointer finger, these are just stories that I have told myself. Middle finger. What if I allowed myself to tell a different story? Bottom of the ring finger. What if I allowed myself to see this differently? Top of the pinky. Maybe this could be different. And now is the moment where we take just a second, feeling into ourselves, feeling into our availability. Am I truly willing to see this differently? And if that door is cracked open just one tiny little amount, then we would progress into the positive. Let us each take a moment to connect. If anyone is still feeling resistance and you need more transition, please take a moment to type into the chat box that you need more transition, and we will continue on in the transition phase. If after a few moments I do not see that, we will progress into our positive section. Beautiful. Let us start on the top of the hand, in between the ligaments of the ring and the pinky finger. Repeating after me once again. My love is more than enough. We're going to go to the wrists tapping. My love is worthy and deserving. And back to the beginning of the karate chop point. My love expands and grows myself and others. Up to the top of the head again. In sharing my love, I experience more love. Starting of the brow. Others desire and value my love. Side of the eye on the bone. My love is unconditional and alchemical. Underneath the eye, finding my aligned friends and connections is easy, graceful, and enjoyable. Cupid's bow. People are magnetized to me. Chin. I find my people with ease. Clavicle. In following my joy, bliss, and pleasure, I attract others who align with my way of life. Bra strap points. When I find an aligned connection, we both feed this connection with such intention, purpose, and devotion. Back to the hands, pointer finger, first knuckle line. My aligned relationships are always growing and deepening. Middle finger, first knuckle line. Reciprocity follows me and supports me. Underneath of the ring finger, what I give comes back to me tenfold. Top of the pinky, first knuckle line. Success is a natural part of my day-to-day life. Wrists. Success finds me. Karate chop point. Success naturally happens when I am in alignment. Back up to the top of the head. Success is a byproduct of my joy and pleasure. Start of the brows. Success is a foundational part of my human experience. Side of the eye. I am worthy exactly as I am. Underneath the eye. My worth is always here for me. Cupid's bow. My worth is never questioned and always present. Chin. I am perfect as I am in this moment, as well as in all future moments. Clavicle. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. Bra strap point. I am deserving. I am deserving. I am deserving. Pointer finger. I am magical. I am magical. I am magical. Middle finger. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundant. Bottom of the ring finger on that first knuckle line, our last one. So speaking it with deep conviction, all my desires desire me. All my desires desire me. All my desires desire me. Closing the eyes down, gently stopping our tapping, coming into awareness of the body, the mind, and the energy. Witnessing the shifts in the mind, the shifts in the energy, the shifts in the body. Feeling into the progression from our even though statements through our transition statements into our aligned, positive, radiant transformation statements. When you are ready, opening the eyes, coming back into this place, back into this space, and allowing yourself to share how you're feeling, what that was like, what that experience was for you, either by coming off mute and sharing or by sharing in the chat box, whatever feels most aligned for you.
That felt so good.
Good, right?
That's seriously like my favorite. I remember talking to you about that. I was like, I need to find someone to like help me learn more about EFT. I know about it and I've done it, but
yes,
much better to do it with people. Like,
yep.
you know, and
Oh yeah.
I want to teach kids it, and I want to teach my partner.
Yep. EFT is a game changer, and you don't need anything else other than you and your words and your body, and you always have it. So like just tapping right here, like this is something you can do at a desk. This is something a kid can do in the bathroom at school. Like, even though I just got bullied, even though that thing that teacher said to me was really shitty and made me feel like crap, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Maybe I could see this differently. Maybe that wasn't even about me. Maybe that was about the teacher. Maybe that was about that student feeling insecure. Maybe I'm perfect just the way I am. Maybe this could change as soon as I open that bathroom door. Okay, I feel different. And as soon as you feel different, you can walk out. I would do that before meetings, in meetings, at my desk, all the time, in my car, at traffic lights. Now, we are going to continue to talk about how to adjust this so that we can do this when we can't speak out loud, when we maybe can't tap, when we're falling asleep. Maybe we want to record this and fall asleep to it and tap without words as we're falling asleep, or just use the words and not tap. Like, there's so many ways to adjust this and make it your own, which for me is the most important part of any of these practices. That it's not just, oh, you follow this exact script and do what Lindsay told you, but that you bring it into your own energy and make it your own. And so, yes, ideally a full undertaking where we're writing it all out, that's beautiful. But if you don't have the time, don't have the space, can't commit to that, just a little bit of it, stream of consciousness going, even though I'm not sure why I feel like crap right now, even though I don't really know what's going on, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All of these different facets and shifts and versions of this are still beneficial and will help you. The beauty of this practice is that it covers the board. This is energetic and esoteric. This is physical and practical and scientific. This is using our language. This is using our energy points. This is using progression. This is using Pavlovian association. This is bringing in our conscious and our subconscious. This is truly hitting it from so many different directions. It is wildly, wildly effective. And so you guys will get to follow along on this script and on this progression. I will give you all of the write-up information in the portal itself so that you can follow this full progression. And I also encourage you guys, bring your even though statements into Voxer, and we can formulate even though statements together. We can bring your shifts of like, here's what I think my 180-degree shift is, and I will help you. I will help you language them. If you're, having a whole paragraph of like, here's my limiting beliefs jumbled mess, how do I put that into separate even though statements? How do I shift each of those into positive statements? Do I want to do a script all around one topic? Do we want to have an abundance script and a love script and a job script and a success script? Or do we want to just focus on, okay, letting ourselves purge every even though statement that doesn't feel aligned right now, even though this is what I'm feeling, even though this is what I'm feeling, even though this is what I'm feeling? Or do we want to focus on one specific topic? Let us try and play with all different versions of this and find what really works for each of us. I'm so excited for you guys to dive in on this, to try it more. EFT is truly the magic wand practice. This is a way to bibbity bobbity boop the shit that you do not feel aligned with and shift it into something that feels more aligned, more right, and teach the brain, the body, the energy to follow you in that progression. Because when we give the brain a directive, when we say, when this comes up and we think this negative thing, we don't want to stay there, we want to end here, the brain loves that. We want to utilize the brain in the way it naturally works to support us.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Brittany said, thank you so much. This was great. Can't wait to re-listen and get into the practice without the kids running around. Yes. And then include the kids in theirs.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
guys. All right.
I just moved into my new house, and so we're going to like redo everything, but we have a fire pit and everything, so we can do our rituals and
Bernie,
like our practices that I was telling him about. I'm really excited. I'm grateful that you're a part of it, and
me too.
all beautiful things.
Please bring all this into Voxer so that we can create and craft and edit and pivot, and I will be constantly dropping more and more ideas of how to shift and how to allow this to really make itself to fit you versus you fitting the practice.
Right.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day, and let us continue to deepen this conversation because this is a potent tool, guys. Love you.
Love you. Bye.